Hello students, so today we shall learn about the data types and the variables attached to them inside a Java language. Before we learn about how variables are used in Java, let us learn few points. A variable is something that is a repository of data, and when some data is going to be stored in a variable, we must know what type of data is going to be stored in them. And that is the reason we learn data types. There are basically three types of variables in Java. The one type that is called as primitive, another is non-primitive. The non-primitive data types are basically into two types. Here it is called as reference variables. But reference variables here also, there are two types. In the last video I have told you the difference between static and non-static variables. We shall today discuss few more points about those, the reference variables as they are called as. There is some naming convention when it is related with using variables. There are some legal identifiers. There are rules using the identifiers in Java are basically like this. The first character of an identifier can be a letter, a dollar sign, or an underscore. So if you are a C programmer, you must can relate a difference. A C variable cannot have a dollar sign in that. Although these two, a letter and an underscore, these are the similar kind of notation that is used in C language. The character, then the first character in an identifier can be a letter, a dollar sign, an underscore, or a desert. And none of the Java language keywords can be as identifiers. That means all the keywords in Java language, which are the reserved words like f, for, while, they cannot be used as an identifier. Identifier, why we are calling them as identifier? Identifier can be a variable, identifier can be the name of a function, identifier can be the name of a constant. Here now we are talking about the variables, the identifiers which are used as variables. Now there are some reserved names as we had talked about, which are used for a Java language. There are some few points to remember when dealing with the keywords in Java language. The keywords, they use letters only. They don't use certain special characters like dollars, underscore, or deserts. And all keywords, they are basically in lowercase letters. There are keywords like Java, friend, include, unsigned. These are the variable types. If you remember, if you are a C++ programmer, you will remember these were the keywords used in C++. But in Java, they are no longer keywords. So these are not found in Java language. The words like goto and const, they are reserved to the extent that programmers cannot use them, but they have no specific meaning in Java language. How can we basically work with the primitive types? We must know, as we had started the presentation with, that every variable is related with its data type. We must know how many data types are there in Java language or in any programming language that we learn. So we have got Boolean, we have got a byte, we have got short, we have got character, taken care by char keyword. We have the int family having as int, long, float, and double. These two data types, float and double, they are basically related with the real numbers. Now let us program them and know them through program. In this slide you can see the size of the variables attached with them. This is very important to know whenever I use any variable. A Boolean is always termed in the form of a bit. So inside a program we will always use them to contain either true or false. A byte is an integer, but it is of the size 8 bits. means it is consuming only 1 byte. There is a data type as short, which exactly is the same what is termed as int in C language. So it is taking 2 bytes. A char is taking 2 bytes in Java language as compared to a C language char which was taking 1 byte. An int in Java language is consuming 32 bits, which was a long in C language. The float and double are the same as they were used in C language. The float is taking 4 bytes, double is taking 8 bytes, and long is taking 64 bits, means it is taking 8 bytes in the memory. So let us see programmatically how these variables are used. So let us move to our editor and let us use them. So before we use, we must know if there are primitive variables, how they are used, where they are declared, and what is the meaning related with the actual place of declaration. So if I declare a variable here, you must know in the last video too we had said any variable that is declared within a class is called as an instance variable. So this variable is an instance variable. Any variable that is declared within a function, like here, this is called as a local variable. And in fact, I can also declare a block inside a function or inside any other block. So any block may have its own declaration of variables. As you can see that we have got 3 integer variables with the same name declared at 3 different locations. The first A, it is called as an instance variable. This A, this is called as a local variable. This A is also a local variable, but what is the difference between this A and this A? The difference is the scope. This A, which is defined within this main function, has a scope of this whole main function. So this scope means this variable is visible in which portion of your program. So this A is visible within this whole function, but this variable, this int A, is visible in this block only. So this has a very low visibility rather than as compared to this variable. So a variable is also known with its data type as well as with its scope too. So in case I try to access A here, so we can access only this A within this scope. So in case I want to access this A, because this is outer variable, I can show that this A can be accessed within here as well as here. But what if I try to access variable A here? If I write system.out.println and try to print the value of A, now which A it will print? Because it has an access to either this A as well as of this A. So we must follow a rule that a variable is localized. A localized variable means the priority is given to the nearest scope variable. So anytime I access any variable within this scope, it will always access the variable with the innermost scope. So this definition actually overrides this one. So this is how a variable is declared and used. Let us also discuss one more type of a variable that is called as a static variable, which is also called as a class variable. I told you in the last video, I am reiterating that a class variable is declared inside a class, like here, but it is not declared as static. So in case any variable, if I declare it right here, like static int b, this b will actually be termed as a class variable. So a variable like this one, a variable like this one, a variable like this one. So here the user says that there are three types of variables. One is as instance, one is as class, and one is as a local variable. About local variable, I had also specified that a local variable can be declared within a function as well as inside any block. I should mention right here, many times we do an error. If you write a for loop specifying like this, int I is equal to 0, I less than 10, and I plus plus, and try to use this I inside this for loop. So as I've used and declared this I only inside for, this will not be visible outside this for loop. So if I try to print or access this I, this will be invalid. So this is how a variable is used, keeping in mind the scope 2. So this is up for this video. Let's meet in the next video.